Adam, my friend, we are live.
We're live? Awesome.
Welcome to another fantastic, exciting episode of the Arty Time podcast.
It's going to be action-packed.
Cue up the song.
Arty Time!
Arty Time! The
Arty
party
on!
Excellent!
There we go. Nice. Yeah, so
This is episode 21, and now we're the
legal.
most professional.
We're legal in all 50 states now. Nice.
Even in Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico, I don't think is a state, technically. Alright, I moved the lighting around for some product photography in here, and I notice it in the framing.
Oh, it's a little blown out.
No, it's the opposite. I'm finding it like there's not much light on us.
Oh, we didn't do the subject matter of this. Whoa. Let me take this off. Get a little too hot.
How's that?
We have a new character on the podcast. He's known as the Lighting Master.
The lighting master, hey? That's
Complements the Frame Master. I think we've achieved it.
We have achieved Zen Arty Time perfection.
So how's your week going?
My week is going pretty awesome, to be honest. It's only Tuesday, but I had a good week. I released some new blankets with some embroidery on them that did okay. And, and work's going really well, so I'm in a good mood overall. I even finished this painting behind us, almost. It still needs the finishing touches, the side painted black, the signature, and
But the front facing is done?
The front face is pretty much done. I have a couple of little spots where paint drip that I need to fix up, but the elements, the design elements are all there. It's pretty much done, and those cleaning up those drips and everything won't take long.
Look at you.
Huh?
You said you'd finish it, and eventually you did.
Yeah, I eventually did. Eventually kept my word to myself.
I always believed in you. I always believed in you.
Oh,
This is the most professional artist podcast on the interweb.
You shouldn't always believe me when I say I'm going to do things, just between me and you.
But when it's recorded for Arty Time podcast, I should believe it? Most definitely.
Sometimes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is that his way of admitting that you're really a vampire? If you see it on Arty Time, it's true?
The title was called Conspiracy?
Yeah, when we titled one Conspiracy Theories, we jabbered on for hours about it.
And I'm sure it was about Facebook's algorithm.
Yeah, Facebook algorithms mostly.
On the news tonight, I saw that they were going to remove the likes.
Yeah, they already did on Instagram. For a lot of people, they're testing that in 7 countries, and if they're doing it now on Facebook, it means whatever goals that they wanted to achieve on Instagram, they achieved.
What is the test to see if people are going to
Here's my gut feeling.
What is this
My
test?
gut feeling is that many of the users on Facebook and Instagram are not really content creators, so they don't care as much if they get likes or not. They're used to getting 8 or 9 likes or 20 likes or whatever. Whereas all the small business people and the people making content that they're trying to share and promote, we're the ones that care if we stop getting likes, because it takes away our social proof. And we've mentioned the concept of social proof previously. Social proof is a psychological concept. Basically means monkey see, monkey do. When humans see other humans doing something a lot, they want to do it too. So social media, the whole way social media helps businesses, small businesses and artists, is when a post does really well, or when a painting gets a lot of likes and other people see that, they're much more likely to smash the like button than if it has 0 likes on it.
Or potentially snatch it up because they feel like a lot of people are after it.
Yeah, exactly. They want to buy it now because if this many people are liking it, it might be gone tomorrow. So I think that the reason Facebook and Instagram are doing that is because they want to get rid of all the small businesses that are not paying them to advertise.
Hold on, this episode is about conspiracy theories.
It is
what I
now.
think is that they're going to do exactly what they did on Facebook, which is people who used to get thousands of likes ended up getting less than 50.
Mm-hmm.
But if they show that openly, people might jump ships like they did on Facebook. So now they're going to do that again. You're going to get 50 likes or whatever, but they're going to mask it to the rest of the people so that if you talk about it, you're going to seem crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at my phone, you have to understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And what's that called when you... Oh,
gaslighting.
Yeah. We're back to the gaslighting.
Mm-hmm. No, it's really...
On the news, bro. On the news. This just in. It's totally fine. They're going to remove the things on your Facebook.
Yeah, and the worst part is...
Gary?
They're like... They put it in the spin that they're doing this to keep people from getting depressed and comparing themselves to people that get more likes and other things than that. And I mean, like, that's, you know, it's for small businesses. If you can't handle another business doing better than you, you shouldn't be in business. Like, for small business people, that's a ridiculous reason. Exactly. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's like, oh, we don't want you to get depressed. It's like, oh, fuck. Like, that's...
They literally crushed every small business.
And I understand that, like, they're a business too, and they need to make money. And if people are filling up their news feed with promotional stuff where they're not earning any money from it, they want to get that off their platform. Like, that's their point of view. And the problem is that small businesses, almost every small business owner I've ever talked to, with very, very few exceptions, have told me they've paid for Facebook advertising. Facebook advertising didn't work for them because they ended up getting a whole bunch of exposure from things that they didn't target in their Facebook marketing, and they gave up. They gave up. So, I mean, it's, you know, and I worked selling advertising for a long time, and it makes sense for a company that sells ads. A company that sells ads, if you're paying $4 a week to boost your little painting, Facebook doesn't care. They don't want your $4 a week. They want Coca-Cola's $4 million a week or $400 million a year, or whatever they're getting paid by Coke and the banks and Chevrolet and, you know, like all the big companies that have billions of dollars to invest in marketing. That's what they want you to see, because they don't care. If your $4 ad doesn't work and then you write to them and complain and you need to take up someone's time, and like, you never get a response from Facebook anyway. So, you know, they don't want that. They literally do not want small businesses flourishing on Facebook. I've spoken,
but then they have no loyalty. You know, in the sense that, like, I don't give. If they could burn tomorrow, and I would be happy.
Yeah, I would.
How evil they have been.
Yeah, you know, like, it's one.
They have all this ad money, and still they needed more, and that needs to stop. That whole vibe in our society where it's like, it's never enough money, and it's never enough, and they'll do all these wrong moves to go after this.
Well, Facebook's brand is ruined in my eyes. I'll never like just hearing the word Facebook and logging into Facebook gives me anxiety. It has nothing to do with the likes. Their brand in my brain is tarnished for life. Like, they have no ethics. Exactly. They steal our information. They don't let us see our own information. They track all kinds of stuff that we don't even know that they track. And
let's be real, they're gonna sell you your pictures 20 years from now.
Probably. Yeah.
They're gonna lock these pictures away and then sell them to you.
They're gonna lock all your memories away one day.
Just like Google's doing to me with the Gmail, where they're asking me to pay $4 a month, or my Gmail's full. And you can't erase things. This is the way they place things, and how, like, you go on Drive and you try and delete things on Drive, and it's like, oh no, this guy shared it to you, so you can't really delete it. So they keep things in the fucking system.
I haven't gotten there yet where they're asking me to pay them on Gmail, but I believe it's coming, because Google, Facebook, what else? Twitter.
The internet was founded on free Gmail.
The internet was founded. In my opinion, the internet was founded on, like, being more or less a level playing field. Like, if you had a website, people could find you. Now, if you have a website, you have to also have really good SEO on that website for people to ever find you. Most people that are like a small business and they're doing something where they need a website for their business, they don't even know what SEO means. They just want something to get their business online so that people can find them on Google. But if your website isn't done in a certain way, and you don't have alternate text for all your pictures, and you don't have this and that other thing and all this technical jargon that thankfully I've sort of started to understand, but I wish I didn't have to. And
oh yeah, getting 100,000 people on a website was not like abnormal things back in the day. It was not abnormal. It could happen very easily.
My website used to get over 3,000 to 5,000 hits in a week was my average in 2015. Now I'm averaging about 70 to 120. Like, that's a huge drop. And
as an artist, the most important thing is that people see the art and know it exists. And that's just chopping it right at the knees.
So you know, I'm really excited because this weekend and next weekend I've got like local events. I spoke about them on the last episode. So you know, I'm just gonna kill it. I'm gonna focus on meeting people in person, and
the old ways.
yeah, and they're close by. I don't have to worry about you know, car and all that stuff because as I've spoken about, I don't have a car. So some of these things that Germ's able to.
Isn't the parking lot right over there?
Huh?
Isn't the Ribfest in the parking lot right over there?
Yeah, yeah. Like I can walk there in 3 minutes.
That is hilarious.
It's awesome. It's still a pain in the ass to walk there with, you know, a tent and all my merch, but it's doable. So I'm gonna do it. And you know, that's
just the old ways of doing things and meeting people.
yeah.
And this is local people.
Mm-hmm.
I got some shirts in a local skate shop downtown, and just to bring context to it so people can understand how to do this, you bring your t-shirts or merchandise, and it's called consignment. You talk the owner into having it there without paying. So they never lose money. They only gain money once it's sold.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing for them, and they usually say yes if it coincides with the business. And you go around and you plant those seeds in various spots in your town, and eventually you'll be doing the same route again, but there'll be money instead of your product. And you just do it again and again and again and again and again and again.
And that's
an old way of doing things.
That's an old way of doing things. I mean, that's how a lot of stuff that you see in gift shops or you know, like that's how it got there. Is a guy that represents that company or that makes those things showed up at the store and said, "Hi, I'm looking for the owner. This is what I do. This is what I've got. You guys can make some money, and so can I." And you know, I've done that a couple of times with you know, over at the yoga studio where some of my art's displayed. They also have a bookstore that's part of their business. And so I left some of my bookmarks with them, and yeah, every few months I go over and collect $40 or $50 from them selling my bookmarks, and it's all good. So, yeah, what he's talking about is definitely, you know, doable. That's the way that a lot of guys on shows like Shark Tank started their business.
Yeah, don't go crazy and start going to all kinds of places and spreading yourself thin. Really target a few things. Pick 3. Start with 3 maybe. Things that are close by that you can get to too. And then eventually you can be traveling the world, and once you learn that skill, apply it in Vietnam, apply it in wherever the heck you are. And then eventually after 10 years of doing that, you'll be getting orders back home to restock them. And that's how any business brand really starts.
Yeah, that's very true, especially if it has to do with like clothing or retail stuff. You know, one-off original paintings, this isn't the best way to go about it necessarily, but
no, but turning your paintings into some
products, yeah.
You know, like this is a nice tablecloth that you have here.
It is. Thank you.
Did you plan to make a tablecloth? Is that what this
Not
was?
at the beginning, no.
Oh, it was just a painting.
Yeah, at the beginning it was a painting, and then I decided to make it into tapestries, and I realized that the tapestries could also be used as tablecloths.
Did you realize that there was like some sort of coyote right here?
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah.
Do you see his ears here or here?
I see them here. Like here it looks more like a fox, and here it looks more like a coyote. So I don't know. Yeah, not that they can see what we're pointing at, but anyway, that's
But see, these could be placed in some sort of environment where they sell tablecloths.
Yeah.
Or blinds.
Yeah.
Curtains and stuff like that.
No, there's all kinds. Like I'm fortunate with my geometric art. It translates well onto lots and lots of products. Like lots and lots of products. So I make lots and lots of products. A, for me, it's fun. I really get a joy out of seeing my art on new products. And B, it's fun for, I think, the people who follow me, too, to see my art on a bunch of new products. And it helps my business grow. Because when I go to these events like I'm going to on the weekend and next weekend, I have a lot of merchandise and a lot of different merchandise. So it makes me look professional. It makes like people that are used
you have more merchandise than me for sure.
I think I probably have more merchandise than
Chris Dyer.
No, not quite.
No,
but then almost any artist I know. And the difference between Chris and me is Chris has a lot of his merchandise is through third-party companies, where he gets royalties from them, and or sometimes they'll pay his royalties in product that he then sells through his own website, which is a pretty awesome way of doing business. But on my end, I kind of do things a little differently because I want to make more profit off of my stuff. So I always invest in my products or almost always invest in my products and then resell them, so I make the margin on them instead of getting a small royalty from another company that's making the margin.
Yeah, let's go into that and try to explain that.
I will in a second. However, just to finish that thought, there are certain royalty agreements where I do have, where are companies that make things that, you know, I never thought of or approached me. And yeah, I have some licensing deals where I license.
Well, that's the whole thing. When someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I'd like to make a product," does it compete with something that you want to do? And you can't do everything. Okay, so pick 3 things. Let's say a good triangle of things. And if someone comes out of nowhere and they're like, "Hey, I want to make shower curtains," what's the harm? You're not doing shower curtains. But what you're trying to talk about is once you allow someone to do something, it's unethical to do and compete with them on the same thing. Let's say a graphic. Someone makes a hat with a graphic that you gave to them. You can't start, just because it starts selling, make the same hat as that person. It's kind of dick move.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Well, if they're paying royalties, they're paying royalties. But the thing is that if you think, and this is your business, that it would make good money, then you're better off investing and not losing that percentage.
At the same time, there's the other side of the coin, where if a company that likes your designs wants to put it on something and they have way more reach than you do, then it's a good way to get your name out there.
Good X factor.
It's a good way to get your name out there to new people that follow that company, and not necessarily, they might never even have heard of you. And all of a sudden this company wants your thing, and like bang, like that's happened to me a couple of times. There's Northern Expressions Needlework that does some of my patterns as needlework patterns, that people can buy the pattern and then they order the thread that comes with, you know, instructions. So I've never done needlework myself, so it wasn't even something I considered. I knew nothing about it, but this lady approached me, and now I sell my patterns in her shop on Etsy, and I get a royalty off of them. And I really had to do nothing other than send her a picture, so it's awesome. You know, sometimes those kind of deals can work. Sometimes those kind of deals might only last a little while. Like, say this company wants to release a beach towel with one of your designs in the summer. They might sell it one summer, they'll sell 40 or 50, and that's it, and then
the rule of thumb in this situation is you say yes.
Yeah, but sometimes you also might make relationships with companies where they will release another design next year or next season and keep going with you. So it's licensing is an interesting way to make money with your designs, and my designs are symmetrical and they look good on certain products. But then other types of art that are very popular for licensing are holiday themed art is the biggest one. Anything Halloween or Christmas themed or Valentine's Day themed, like that's mostly what art licensing companies are looking for, because they sell them to like Hallmark greeting card companies and companies that make, you know, the advent calendars with the chocolates before Christmas, and Christmas card companies, and you know, holiday stuff is big sellers. So those are the types of art that generally sell well to art licensing companies. But on the other hand, there's all kinds of niche fandoms and niche, you know, kinds of art that might do really well too. Like there might be a company that makes Rocky Mountain calendars, and if you paint Rocky Mountains all the time, they might want your Rocky Mountain paintings on their calendars, and they might want to have a whole series where you're the artist, and like, you never know. So those are some ways to make extra money as an artist, is getting licensing deals. Now, what I was talking about before with margins and everything like that, let's like break it down a little bit.
My best product with the margin is, let's say, a T-shirt, which I can get for $250, new, blank, and apply very little ink to it, like cents of ink. So now let's say that $3, and low end I'm selling for $20. So the margin is basically like what you paid to get the product
versus the amount of profit you make on it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you're getting a royalty, the person's handling that, selling it for something, but they want their profit for being in this before they give it to you. And that's where the margins come in. Like he has a margin as well.
For example, like say I buy something for $10 and sell it for $50, then I'm making $40. If that company buys my design and puts it on this thing that they're paying $10 for, and they sell it for 50, but they only give me 10% royalties, then I'm only making $5. Whereas if I bought the product myself, the same thing, and sold it myself, I could be making 30 or $40 every time I sell one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference.
And it's not to get greedy with this man's product that you don't even know a thing about. But if you're an artist, selling a t-shirt is one of the easiest things to do.
Yeah, t-shirts.
It spreads the message about your art. Most artists can put their shit on a t-shirt. It's not unthinkable.
Yeah, no, it's very easy.
So they can get it on a shirt, and it's always applicable. People you meet wear t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
At some point in their life, they wear a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's relatable, and that's a product that I think most artists should get in on.
Yeah.
And then, what do you think another one would be?
The foundation of my entire business was stickers. That was the foundation of my entire business. I turned an $800 investment in stickers into almost $6,000, and I used that money. It took a long time. It's not like I bought stickers and whoa, I turned it into $6,000 overnight. It took a couple of years. But over that couple of years, I invested some of the money I made into prints and some of the money I made into silk scarves. And once I started releasing silk scarves, people started thinking my art a little more higher class than when there's just
That's the big
like
difference when you have the margin. When you have royalty, you come in and you burn it. You just buy things and you fucking spend and you treat it like nothing. But when you have the margins, it keeps rolling on itself and getting bigger and
you
bigger.
make enough money that you can
business
reinvest it.
Yeah.
Making money off royalties, making enough money off royalties to really grow your business is tough. It's doable, but it takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas building your own inventory and having your own products, I think it's a smarter way to build a business. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
I
there's
think
other
it's a
people.
good idea. It's
Maybe
wealth.
there's other people.
This shelf right here is full of wealth, and even if a robber broke in that window right there, he wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
He'd be looking for like a PlayStation 2 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, obviously he's not going to start peddling your stuff, but that's a lot of money right there. And everywhere behind us and everything.
Yeah, no, and
it's a way to stash your wealth.
Yeah, it's it's not always easy to take your investment and turn it into cash once you have products sitting around. But at the same time, it's not always that hard either. When you own your own merchandise, you can choose when to run sales. Mm-hmm. And if you need money now because you've got this bill that came in that you need to pay, you can run a good sale and sell your merches and like either barely make any money, just get your money back so that you can handle whatever you need to handle. Or
and it's getting out there,
and it's still getting out there. Exactly. Like breaking even is not always a bad thing. If you're breaking even but getting some good exposure out of breaking even, it's a lot better than losing money to get some.
That's because you're the artist.
Mm-hmm.
As an artist business, it's one of the greatest businesses in the world because a normal business doesn't really want to break even.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be dumb to break even. But as an artist, you could still win because there's an advertising aspect.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance to sell a canvas in that in that sale,
mm-hmm.
where you think you're selling something at a low end, but really it's a lost leader that brings people into the sales mood, and they could buy a canvas.
Or
and as an artist, a normal business would have to pay an artist to have designs, so they lose their margins.
Yeah, they lose part of their margin by having.
As the artist.
Yeah, you do it yourself.
You have it yourself. Artist businesses make the most, I think, margins.
They can, yeah, depending. Like some of my prints,
sometimes 10,000 for a canvas. It's crazy.
Yeah, some of my prints, I made over 1,000% profit on. So, yeah.
Who's touching that?
I mean, not a lot of businesses touch 1,000% profit.
1,000%.
And it sounds like you might think like, oh, you're making 10,000. It's like, no, my prints cost like 48 cents, and I was selling them for $80. But that's still amazing, Golden age of Facebook.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Now
it would have been a golden age.
Now what I'm doing is trying to find.
Well.
Now what I'm doing is trying to find the other golden age. I mean, there's gonna be another golden age sometime down the road, whether it's Facebook changes their algorithms again or whatever it is, something new comes along. When MySpace was big, nobody thought it would go down and that Facebook would replace it, but it did. And I'm pretty sure Facebook and Instagram are gonna go the same way eventually. It's just the way of the world. Somebody's going to come up with a better service that people enjoy more and don't have this negative opinion of that so many people have of Facebook and Instagram, and it's going to take over because people are going to be looking for that new fresh thing, and
it's going to come from the kids, you know. Because you told me about TikTok, but I had already seen my niece on that thing.
Mm.
You know, and I was watching like, what app does a younger person go on, and they go on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, my parents are on fucking Instagram, and it's lame. Can't even find things.
Yeah, you can't find things.
Interesting things aren't being shown to you. It's just like ads.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna move to something else.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it's and that's why I keep telling people about Minds and MeWe and Steemit. Like, I'm still making sales off of those places,
mm-hmm.
you know, and I enjoy posting on them. Like, I don't have the same negative feeling towards them that I do towards Facebook because they didn't jack my audience from me. And,
well, that's why the consignment thing, if we can go back to that, is such a powerful thing, because if you do it right, there is a lot of people that come into a shop. If you place it right, you can be over 100 people a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a social media post.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just the old school way of getting people in. And if the owner or the person at the table is fluent with what the product you put there, then they're upselling you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have a person who's doing an ad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a local artist, and we came in, and da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
100 people. Well, maybe not 100 people are looking at it, but you know, it's still a very important avenue that you have to explore as an artist.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and one thing that I think we've mentioned a bunch of times on this show is like there's as many ways to make a business as an artist as there are ways to make art. So like, whatever, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if some things that I say or some things Germ says, you're like, oh, I could never do that. Like, okay, well, we say a whole bunch of other things too, so don't do that. Do the other 20 things that we say that you can do or think that are good ideas or whatever.
No, consignment you have to do. It doesn't have to be t-shirts. What if you're into spoons? Get into your hobby with your art and then go to the hobby shops with the hobby thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just, I don't know, explore other avenues and invest in product. That's basically what I think the merger of this conversation is that you're talking about investing in products and I'm talking about getting the products in those spots and having them, you know, do the dance for you, do the advertising, and that's why you should invest in your own product and then put it on consignment and then sell it too.
Yeah, no, consignment's really it's a really good way to get your name out there. Now, like let's talk about some of the pitfalls that can happen with consignment.
You spread it too thin. Spread it too thin, you don't check on it too often. It's like a Tamagotchi, my friend.
Got to make sure you keep track of what inventory is where.
You go into the shop. Oh, yes, can I speak to Dale? He was the person who authorized me being here and said he would give me some cash. Oh, yeah, we fired his ass. And now you have no contact. Now you're like, oh shit, Dale's gone.
Yeah, no, I've heard of situations where people put merch on consignment in stores and then the store shut down and they lost their merch.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
The Tamagotchi, you gotta go in there.
So there are some downsides that can happen. So like I just wanted to bring it up to like let you know, well, these are the things you should maybe.
That's why I was talking about try with 3 at the beginning and check on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to check on them. If
if it's not selling, that's also something that could be on you, that the product is not ready for the open market.
It could be. It could also be that like sometimes when you're there in person, they'll really respect you and they'll be nice to your face, and then you go back and this thing that they said they were going to sell for you is on a shelf in their back room and they're not selling it at all.
Mm-hmm.
That can happen. So.
And also, you can be in there and you could be like, oh, I made this. And that could sell. And I know it does. So going in has its downfalls and its upsides too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying, check on these spots.
Mm-hmm.
And if you sell live in front of the manager or whatever, they'll notice that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll notice that this person like talks the talk, you know, and gets that thing to move. And it shows them that all you have to do is talk about that thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's my philosophy in sales. If anyone's learning sales, you just have to learn how to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not talking about it, then there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
So get fluent in talking about the things that are for sale.
Mm-hmm. And get fluent in talking about your art in general. We've mentioned it a bunch of times that the way that art sells is usually because of a story. The story of your career, the story of why you make art, the story behind the piece, the story
behind your rent.
Behind your rent, yeah, the story. The story is what's going to sell your art. So now in 2019, with people being able to follow artists a lot more closely on social media instead of meeting them once in a blue moon at a gallery event or something, and maybe getting invited to a studio once in a while, artists are a lot more accessible. So it makes it easier for people to follow the story to a certain extent. You know, if people are paying attention to your social media posts and clicking like all the time so that they will see the next one, then they kind of can follow along your story. And that's what TikTok is good at. If you're out there and you're trying to get your art career going, check into TikTok. It's basically Instagram stories without Instagram's algorithms that keep your followers from even seeing them. So, you know, that from what I understand about TikTok, that's what it is. Short format videos, where people that follow you see them.
No.
Yeah. So, I think part of the reason that
and then Instagram will buy it.
Part of the reason, yeah, Instagram's gonna buy it. So get in and ride that. If you like making short form videos and Instagram stories is the way you market your art, get on TikTok now. Don't wait till Instagram buys it, because once they do, they're gonna ruin it, just like Facebook did with Instagram. So,
I don't know.
And I don't know. For me personally, the social media that I'm finding the most similar to Facebook's golden era is MeWe. MeWe has groups where there's starting to be a lot more people. A lot of people came from G Plus or G. What was it?
G Plus, I think.
Yeah, G Plus. Google's social media. When that closed, a lot of people came from there to MeWe. And because of the fact it has a lot of groups and it's easy to share to groups, like you can click share and then it gives you a list of groups and you click share to that group and it'll share it, and then you click share and share to that group. It makes it easy to share to a lot of groups quickly, and by joining groups that are targeted towards your target audience, it makes it easier to get your art in front of people that are probably going to have a higher percentage of liking it than just random people. So, like, you know, my art, I joined groups about light workers and human ascension and things like that.
That's why people love Reddit, too.
And people are starting to find my art with that.
It's like
I'm nervous of getting on Reddit to share my art, because I heard that people on Reddit will tear you down if you're self-promoting. And that's what I own a business. I'm always self-promoting. Anytime I show my art online, somebody can be like, oh, you're just self-promoting.
Yeah, but on the Reddit one, you just have to be nuanced about it, where it's like they just want you to post the thing, the year, and the size of the canvas. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did it, then you don't have to write at a Millward, because you're the fucking guy posting it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you do. You title, acrylics, the size of the canvas, the year, you post it. And then someone in the comments could basically be like, is it for sale? And you just private message them.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it's done. You don't put, you have to follow the format, or else.
See, and that's
There's rules. There's rules. But it's good.
For the way I was working with social media, that was too much of a pain in the butt to do it when I had 9 other social medias where I can copy and paste to go in and format and worry about all their rules and other algorithms.
I don't do it either. They have bots that delete my post if I fucking miss a comma or something like that, and eventually it's Pavlov dog.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, okay, fuck, dude.
Well, that's
I'm
what
trying to post a picture here, make people laugh, and it's like, alright, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Commas are so important. But I get it. We just need to have Albanian wives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no use in arguing. You just have to have Albanian wives, and they'll take care of all that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the exposure on the internet is really important. Because at the end of the day, even people who meet you in person, they're going to eventually, hopefully, follow you online or join your email list or something. Like, you don't want to just meet them once and then what? Then hope you run into them again on the street somewhere? No, they got to follow you and get in touch with you, get on a list, follow your Facebook, follow your Insta, whatever it is.
You know what we should do, bro?
So there's what's the word I'm looking for?
A precedent.
No, there's a relationship between what goes on in real life and what goes on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Precedent works.
like that's how I found out about these events that I'm taking part of, is because I was invited through them on the internet. I didn't find out about them by meeting someone in person.
Would you be down to put money on the line and hire some Albanian wives to put our things on Pinterest, all kinds of things, and then we'll search and see what comes up?
Well, yeah, I would. I mean, but not until my debts are paid. Like, I definitely want to do all this, but I want to pay my debts back first. And that $100 won't do it.
No, what? They're gonna sit there and fucking enter things on Pinterest.
The problem is,
The
is that
pictures you're gonna get
for
on
what
Pinterest.
for what I want to do, I'm not interested in hiring an Albanian wife to put 100 pictures on Pinterest for me on one day and that's it. I'm interested in hiring an assistant that's going to consistently every single fucking day do my stuff for me, or 5 or 6 days a week anyway. Going to take my posts and put them everywhere for me so that I don't need to do that. That's what I want an assistant for personally. Because the important thing is long-term consistency. And whatever platform you're on, if you're not consistent and you're not posting often, which I'm at that spot right now, because I get home from work and I don't want to deal with the headaches.
Do you care if it's a guy or a girl?
No, I mean...
You're a homosexual, eh?
If I'm getting... yeah, as long as it's not another fucking vampire.
I'm not doing it.
So, yeah, I mean... We made the Albanian wife joke because the first person I was looking into was an Albanian woman. So, and I liked what she had to offer because of the way she proposed her packages. Like, I could tell she was into marketing. Her packages were called the Knight package, the Prince package, and the King package.
And you wanted the King package.
I wanted the King package, of course. Like, just the way she marketed to me made me feel good. It's like, all right, I'm the king. Might as well get the best, you know, be the Mandela King, Mandela Master. So, for me, that's what I want to hire an assistant for, is to help me with the consistency. Because on days when I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like fucking putting it on Facebook, and then on MeWe, and then on Minds, and then on Steemit, and then on Pinterest, and then on LinkedIn, and then on Twitter, and then on YouTube, and it's like, I just don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing all that. It takes hours, and it's not fun, and like, I could be painting, I could be doing all kinds of other things that I enjoy doing, other than sitting there in front of a computer, copy pasting shit to a bunch of different social media. So I want to have somebody that does it and that does it properly, because one thing that algorithms do, you know, there's apps you can use that'll save you time, where it'll post to Twitter and Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram, but you'll get shadow banned because their algorithms know that you're using that app, so your reach is going to be garbage if you use those apps.
And the reason is they want you to come into the app.
Yeah, they want you to come into the app to see their advertisers, and if you're coming in through it sideways through Hootsuite or whatever it's called, or
shut it down.
They don't want you. Yeah.
Yeah. Shut her down.
So it's to the point where even if you copy paste instead of type it in on Facebook, Facebook knows that. Facebook knows that you didn't type in that status that on Facebook, that you copy pasted it from somewhere, and less people will see that.
Shut her down.
So, you know, I need somebody that understands that on Facebook they can't just copy paste it. They got to type that in one letter at a time. And same thing on Instagram, and on Twitter they can copy paste it and it won't get shadow banned as much. And on Pinterest they can copy paste it and it won't get shadow banned as much. But on Facebook, they literally got to type it in.
And then watch a couple ads.
Yeah.
Scroll, watch a couple ads, and like, we got one. We got one. What are you gonna do? It's no longer the golden age. This will be known as the dark.
The dark ages of the internet, yeah.
Dark. No, it's kind of dark, yeah.
Yeah, the dark ages of the internet. Like, it's so hard even to find content creators that you know, I subscribe to. It's hard to find them on Instagram. If I don't know their Instagram name, like, I'll never find them.
Mm-hmm. And it's so funny. It has the algorithm for all the people that you may love.
Yeah.
Right behind a wall.
Yeah. No, like, it knows who I interact with on a daily basis and who I didn't interact with. And right now, Instagram has me completely pretty much banned. Like, I can't like posts, I can't comment on posts. You know.
And that's because you came at it sideways.
And that's probably because I came at it sideways. Yeah, I don't put social media on my phone.
So he uses a desktop app.
I won't put social media on my phone, so I use a
using
desktop
a desktop app, and they're probably shutting her down.
Yeah, that's probably why I got banned from
Can't comment, can't like.
I can't comment, I can't like, and what's the other thing? There's something, I can't message people. or receive messages.
Whoa.
So like, what's the point? What am I using Instagram for?
Yeah.
It's like masturbating in a mirror. Fuck. Here's a post that you can see, but I can't reply to your comment. I can't read your messages. So like, what the fuck,
Shut her down.
Shut her down. So like, fuck you, Instagram. Fuck you, Facebook. Really, from the bottom of my heart, fuck you.
Oh my god.
So
It's so brutal.
It's so brutal. But Ribfest is coming up, and it's gonna be fun. Christmas is coming up. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I really think it's all gonna work out. It's just a roller coaster.
Through the amount of time that I've been doing what I'm doing, there are a lot of people who follow me and make an effort to come find me and see me, even when they notice my stuff isn't showing up in their Facebook feed anymore. They come drop a comment because they know how Facebook algorithms work, and they say, "Hi, Adam, I haven't seen you in a while," and then they see my stuff again. So I know that during holiday season things are going to pick up for me. I know that with these events coming up, things are going to pick up for me. So like it's super motivating to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And all I can do is keep on keeping on. Oh, and I finished this painting, almost. Did we talk about that yet on this Arty Time?
No,
right?
No, we didn't.
Nice. Yeah, this painting behind us is pretty much done. Finally, just needs a few little finishing touches. And paint the sides black and do my signature on it, and it's done. So that's one other reason I'm really stoked, because I finally
we did talk about it.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, just let you ramble on, but we did.
Oh Jesus, fuck you, dude.
We opened with that. It was the most professional artist podcast, and we talked about how you were done.
All right,
but not really done.
Not really done, yeah. Okay, I don't remember that. I thought we had that conversation outside before we turned on the phone.
No, I got 3 new paintings too.
Nice.
And I posted them today. I took some pictures before picking up my son. It was like the golden hour. It was all like, I look back at the pictures, they're amazing.
Nice.
Just because of how the sun was.
I actually have a new painting right there.
Which one? The green one?
Yeah.
Let's pick it up.
Yeah, that's for last month's supporting patron winner. So I actually have to do the draw. I'm going to do the draw like tomorrow or the day after. But yeah, this painting is what I created for last month's supporting patron winner. It was pretty cool. She asked me for like ocean and like green colors, and as I was painting it, it kind of made me think of how
you called it pelagic diatom.
Yes, and I called it that because it looks like a plankton under a microscope. Like, I don't know if you've ever looked at plankton under a microscope. They are really cool geometric shapes, a lot of them.
No, my access to plankton has been low recently.
But your access to Google is not low.
Oh.
So type in plankton under a microscope on image search, and you can see something like this. And so yeah, that's why I named it pelagic diatom. So there we go. And have you were gonna start a Patreon at one point? Did you ever do it?
I filled it out. They sent me emails, but fuck that.
Because
it's like Etsy. They're gonna change the percentage on me. I'm gonna build a platform and they're gonna sneak it away from me.
They might, but they might. But I know a few other artists who I don't know if you know, but you've seen my art that I own by Calyptus, the one with the big zebra stripe in the middle.
Yeah.
He just recently started a Patreon, and it's doing okay for him. And the thing with Patreon is, I built my own Patreon on my own website for that reason, like you said, because I didn't want them to be able to yank the platform out from under me at any point for any reason. It is a little bit complicated to do that. You have to have a PayPal business account to be able to do that, but it's really not that hard to set up. And so you can do something like Patreon on your own website if you have your own website. However, I guess what I'm trying to say is that making $40 or $50 a month every month from your art, from people who really like your art and want to follow it, take it. Take that $40 or $50. Start a Patreon. Get those people who are going to follow you on there and, give them what they want. Because having people who are willing to pay you just to enjoy your content is really, I think, where the future of a lot of art careers are going to go. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think the future of a lot of art careers are going to go similar to a subscription mode. Because we have our business expenses going through the roof to reach an audience. So for us to reach an audience, we need to make money off of whatever audience we can reach somehow. So I think that subscription model is going to be a way that a lot of artists are going to grow their careers in the next 5 to 10 years. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's going to be more of a... My model is you can watch for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then if anybody wants to be seen on camera with me that isn't cool, they got to pay. And I think that's the model, is that I'm going to charge the high-end people. You know what I mean? You should charge companies because you have the eyeballs and they do not have the eyeballs, and that's where the business.
But right now I don't have the eyeballs. I can't prove that I have the eyeballs, and neither will you be able to prove that when they take your eyeballs away.
And then I guess you're right. And then they'll be the only ones with the eyeballs.
Yeah.
We have all the eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, for me personally, I don't think that social media is gonna, or at least not the existing social medias. I don't think.
Well, it stresses me out to think that I have to be on Patreon too, and that's why I kind of don't want to do Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Stresses me out to be on our social media. I don't have Wi-Fi at home, so when I already get to Wi-Fi, it's a mess, bro. Don't need more of that.
Mm-hmm. See, I do need more of that because I feel like that's how my business is going to grow, is by making sure I'm consistently there on many different platforms. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. Because when I was consistently there on many different platforms, it was working better. Now I don't have the energy and the time to be consistently there on all these platforms all the time. It's just like
at work you can't go on the computer and post some shit while you talk?
Not really, because I don't have my hard drive with all my photos on there.
Yeah, but if you just bring it.
Yeah, I can, but like honestly, I don't want to start getting in trouble at work. You know, my job pays me a lot of money. I don't need to fuck that up. So, you know, yeah, maybe I could sneak it in there, but it's not even something I want to start doing. You know, when I'm at work over there, I need to be making sales over there and making my money the way I do over there. So, and the whole idea behind me getting a job was to take some of the stress off my art career, not give me more stress for my art career. So, it has taken off a lot of stress, but it might have taken off a little too much stress because now I don't post regularly. I don't have to post every day because my bills are going to get paid whether I post every day or not at all. So the motivation, like the fire under my ass to be consistent, isn't there like it was when my only income came from my art. But for my business, I know that consistency needs to be there. So for me, the way that I plan on getting that consistency back again is once I finish paying off my debts, use the money that I'm paying to my debts every month to hire that Albanian wife and or someone similar.
Mm-hmm. My rule of thumb is each day to try and do something that you know is sellable. And that doesn't mean like the thing has to end there, but like working on a painting, if you work on it every day and other things like that, you're going to get somewhere in life. And it's a rule of thumb that if you go to bed that day and you hadn't put in at least an hour into something, then you know how many days it's going to take to get to 10,000 hours.
10,000 days.
Just like these podcasts.
Just like Tool. Tool took 10,000, more than 10,000 days to release their album, didn't they?
It just came out.
Yeah, I don't know. People have asked me, have you listened to the Tool album? And
Me too.
I'm really not in a rush to listen to it. They made me wait 10 years to have it available to listen to. It's like I lived without a new Tool album for 10 years. I can live without it for 10 more days or whatever. It's like, I don't really care.
Yeah, not in a crazy rush.
And that's pointing out the consistency. If Tool had released 3 albums between now and their last one, I'd probably be super into listening to this one. But over the last 12 years, my music tastes evolved. And I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I'll listen to it one day, I'm sure, and I might even really fucking like it. But at the same time, I'm not in a rush to go out and buy it or listen to it. It'll happen when it happens. So, yeah, and that's cool that worked in with what we were talking about. And I know for me personally, if I make a post every day on all my social medias and if I paint every day, things with my business will probably go better. But honestly, the social media thing stresses me out and depresses me because I'll go through the whole thing and, you know, spend 3 or 4 hours doing it after I get home from my work shift. And, you know, I don't see results for 3 or 4 days of it. And then it's like I put 12 hours of my week into doing this and I'm not making any sales. getting likes and a few comments here and there, but
yeah, you got to reset the priorities.
Like,
you got to
yeah.
make a list of the things that you should be doing, because all that you should be doing is small tasks,
Mhm.
and they're easily to tackle once you break them down small tasks, and then put them in a state of priorities. Which one is the smartest move to do? It's most likely the dumbest, quickest one.
Mhm.
You take care of it, and then after that, you'll see that social media is not at the top.
Mhm.
Social media is an aftermath.
Mhm.
You should be painting every day if
Mhm.
that's what you do, or you should be creating the thing that then becomes a post.
Mhm.
And if you realize that in priorities, you would never get into hours of social media, because you realize that you're squandering the whole thing.
Mhm.
So you get off the computer super fast and you'd be back onto 1, 2, or 3 in the priority list.
Mhm.
So make a priority list.
Sure, I mean, for me, like,
What's your priorities?
right now my priorities are honestly to relax and to reconnect with why I make art and what my passions behind it are. For the 3-4 years,
That's super
like
important. That's rest.
for the last 2 or 3 years that Facebook's been slowly eroding my business and Instagram's been eroding my business and everything, it hasn't really been fun.
No, you didn't even rest. You just like rode a single ship.
And
in
the
ground.
whole thing
Panicking all the time.
consumed my thoughts was how am I going to reach people? What am I doing with my life? This sucks. Like it wasn't fun anymore. And I didn't have time to enjoy my passions, and I didn't have time to read a book, because every time I would try and relax, my brain would tell me, you have to pay the rent. You have no money to pay the rent. Go make a post. Go on social media.
There isn't a new
Go
tool
throw
out
yourself
yet.
in the fire. You know, like, so I'd go jump on social media and then get stuck in the scroll for 2 hours and fucking the Trump bullshit and this and that and the other thing and all these depressing things and kids are killed and police are shooting and and like I'd end up feeling terrible after. And it's like I'm addicted to social media. For me personally, the way like forward is I need to not be in that zone as much anymore. For me personally, for my mental health. Just for my mental health. My mental health is more important than my business at the end of the day. If my business is not doing well, my mental health's not doing well, like what am I doing it for?
And your business won't do well.
And my business won't do well either. And it didn't
mental
do
health
well.
So rest is a very important priority if you run your own business, because you never turn off.
Yeah, over the last few weeks,
And you're not learning to turn
I've
off.
been reading a lot. I've been reading about ancient civilizations. I've been reading about aliens and UFOs. I've been reading about paranormal stuff like that, and all this stuff that connected me with my art, and that people interested in my art connected with me over too. You know, I sort of got away from all that because I didn't feel like it was time well spent when I could have been, you know, working on my website or you know, ordering new product. Like I was a workaholic, and is what it was. I was pretty one-track minded with my business, and it ended up biting me in the ass because I didn't take care of the rest of the parts of my life, and I ended up sad and depressed and cranky all the time, and you know, I don't want to end up in that same spot again. So you know, that's where I'm at right now with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for me personally, the social media needs I need somebody to handle that for me to come back to where I need to be, because I don't have it in me anymore to do that every single day on nine or 10 social media.
I've come to the conclusion that I'll do what I can, and that's the best I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna.
I mean, even you. I mean, you used to post every single day on Instagram and do many stories. Now you post once a week on Instagram and you do half the amount of stories.
You feel like I do half the amount of stories?
Well, you do a lot less than I used to follow along.
Yeah, true. Because I used to like wake up and make that one of the higher priorities was to do the advertisement role, because that's what it is. It's like.
But, you know, I see the same thing happening to you that happened to me. Like, as the algorithms take away your audience, like, the motivation to create content goes with it.
Oh, because it's not there was growth.
Yeah, growth
and
is super motivating.
And then they kind of stagnate the growth, so you're not getting the serotonin release that you need to keep that train going.
Mm-hmm,
so you just put it into something else, and luckily for me, it's still working, you know, on a mouth-to-mouth basis or something, and that's why I'm focusing more in Montreal, so that, you know, and then maybe a trip to New York or something, but there's not much I can do but ride the wave. Whether it's a shit wave or a good wave, you just ride it.
Just get on TikTok.
And, you know, I think the whole point is just not to stress out, because it'll hurt the business.
Yeah, stress hurts everything. Stress hurts business.
You're not making a lot of sales. Tighten your belt and don't make a lot of expenditures.
But I did that. I totally did that. I cut down. I didn't eat out. I didn't go to movies. I didn't hang around with friends. I didn't go to parties. Nothing. I got invited somewhere. Sorry, man. I don't have money. I can't even take the bus there. Like, I did that for years, and it ended up, I hated, like, what was I doing all this for? If I can't even enjoy my friends, I can't even enjoy having dinner, I can't even enjoy, buying the more healthy groceries. I cut my expenses as much as I could. And, so then that's why I went and got a job in April. And I'm honestly a lot happier. I know I put out a lot less content for the people who follow me, which I honestly feel kind of guilty about sometimes. But at the end of the day, I really hope that this kind of hibernation phase for me is something that's going to lead to, something a lot better in the future, because I really needed it for my mental health.
I guess that's why I'm not posting so much too.
And
not stressed out about that. And that's a shame.
But it's kind of like a spiral, because you get more comfortable not posting as much, and then because you're not posting as much, people aren't as interested in what you're doing because they're not following you as often.
My issue is that
it's a spiral that goes down, and that's what's happened to me.
The problem is that I'm creating more, but I'm not sure if people are seeing it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not posting as much, but I am creating more than ever. So it's just like, here's 3 pages. Whenever I post, it's like, here's 3 things, and here's fucking 9 things, and and even on the stories, it'll show like 3 things, but those things are gonna be deleted. So it's flashed, really. But I also kind of feel like maybe this is the way that I'm gonna start making more books or collections. And because it's only been flashed to you, the thing is still valuable. You haven't seen everything, but you might have seen glimpses of it, But it's not all there for free, basically, because there's too much being created.
See, I create stuff a little slower than you do. Like, I very rarely create a painting in a day. It almost always takes me at least...
Not always paintings.
At least a week.
Lately, I've been really gung-ho on going to church thrifts and getting really nice frames. And then the frame, sometimes if you check your list and you haven't done something that is creative that day, I can look at the frame and then cut out a piece of paper that fits that frame perfectly, and then all I have to do is paint it like a canvas. Design this sheet of paper with the frame, and at the end, it's nice in a neat little package, and I have a milk crate full of fucking frames and inks in them. And if ever someone wants a low-end art piece original, they can go through that and look at it. And it always keeps the stocks going in there, because they always kind of leave, Sell 1 a week or something like that. So you should always make more art on all levels.
So I
have art, but more.
Yeah, I have a ton of stuff in my store already. So part of where I'm at is like, what's too much? And when it comes to making new art, of course, there's got to be a steady stream of new art. Even though I'm posting less, I'm still pretty much making the same amount of art I always have for the last few years. I'm just not posting 3 or 4 progress shots. I'm only posting it when it's done.
Like your frames right there, I got one that was 50 cents. How many would you want at 50 cents? How much is too much at 50 cents? You know what I mean? I'd be cool with a stock of 100 at that price because of the margins. The margins are amazing, and it's actually nicer than that one.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you go to the church thrifts. You're not getting hundreds of them, but what you're getting is crazy, and you're getting them for 50 cents. And when you sell them for 60 low end, that's a crazy margin. Yeah,
like thrift store frames are really.
That's almost 1,000. That's almost 1,000% margin that he's talking about.
Do it. If you frame your art, go get frames at thrift stores and churches and wherever you can. I mean,
the best scenario is that you get it and then you size it up. So also before getting it, see that the backing can be removed. See that there are pins that release the backing, because some of them are glued shut. And by opening it, you're gonna break the glass. You're gonna do all kinds of things. It's not worth it. But some of them can be just with a knife, you open it all up, and then from there, design it like you would a canvas. Don't have a piece of art and go in looking in a church basement.
Yeah,
for
a frame for that art. Do
For
it the
that-
other way around.
do it
Buy
backwards
the frame first and then
engineer it.
make art for the
Find
frame.
the nice frame, the one that speaks to you, and then dress it like you would a canvas, and then you'll be stoked. It's one of the best ways to make affordable art.
Cool. So how long have we been going on here?
We're in the hour.
We're around an hour, huh? All right, because I don't know. I'm running out of ideas about what to talk about
Oh, I guess that's the end of the episode.
for episode 21.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
What do you think this one's gonna be called?
Fuck you, Facebook.
I'm going out on consignments. Yeah.
Yeah, out on consignment. Nice, not a bad idea. We'll call it consignment, not fuck you, Facebook. So although fuck you, Facebook. So yeah, I guess that's about it. This has been another episode of Arty Time. Arty Time. Arty on. Excellent. See you next time on Arty Time.
Same art channel. Wait. You get the picture.
Same art channel, same art time.
Yeah, I think he says art time first and then same art
Same
channel.
bat time, same bat channel. Yeah.
Yeah.